Your brain won't stop. You're not thinking on purpose. You're not trying to remember anything important. And yet, here it comes again. That conversation. Not the dramatic one, not the fight. The small one. The pause that felt too long. The joke that landed half a second late. The sentence you wish you'd said differently. Your body is in bed, but your mind is standing right there, replaying it like it just happened. And the worst part? You already know how it ends. And somehow, you're always the one who fails in the replay. So why does your brain keep pressing play? Most people assume this is just anxiety, overthinking, social awkwardness. And sure, that's part of it. But if that were the whole story, your brain would eventually get tired and move on. It doesn't. Because obsessively replaying conversations isn't really about the conversation at all. It's about control. When you replay a conversation, your brain isn't asking, "What did they think?" It's asking, "What does this say about me?" In your mind, you're not watching the memory, you're editing yourself. You're rehearsing a version of you who said the perfect thing, who timed everything better, who didn't hesitate, didn't stumble, didn't feel small in that moment. And every replay is an attempt to replace the version of you that actually existed. But here's the problem. That moment is locked. You can't go back into it. You can't upgrade the character. You can't patch the scene. So every replay quietly reinforces the same message. The real me wasn't good enough. That's why the conversations that haunt you aren't the ones where you were cruel or offensive. They're the ones where you were almost right. Almost confident. Almost smooth. Almost the person you wanted to be. Those moments hurt more because they expose a gap between who you are and who you believe you should be. And your brain is obsessed with that gap. Psychologically speaking, rumination spikes when identity feels unfinished. Your mind treats the past like an unsolved problem. But it's not trying to solve the moment. It's trying to decide who you're allowed to be. So it keeps circling it. Again, and again, and again. Every time you replay that conversation, you're not remembering what happened. You're remembering the last version of the memory. Human memory doesn't work like a recording. It works like a story that gets rewritten every time you tell it. Filtered through self-doubt, amplified by embarrassment, edited by fear. So your brain has taken something neutral and trained itself to experience it as painful. In other words, your brain is arguing with you using evidence it altered itself. That's why replaying conversations feels so convincing. The more you revisit them, the more real the distorted version feels. And now you're stuck defending yourself in a trial where the judge, jury, and prosecutor all live inside your head. The courtroom never closes. Some people say, "But I replay conversations to learn. I'm trying to improve." That sounds reasonable. But there's a difference between reflection and rumination. Reflection ends. It extracts meaning and lets go. Rumination loops. It pretends to be productive while quietly punishing you. People who obsessively replay conversations aren't obsessed with growth. They're obsessed with preventing rejection that hasn't even happened yet. They believe that if they can just think enough, analyze enough, refine enough, they'll finally become someone who never has to feel that discomfort again. So they rehearse. They practice being smoother, funnier, more confident. And without realizing it, they teach their brains something dangerous. That being human isn't enough. That mistakes require punishment. That acceptance is conditional. Over time, this turns into a rule. If I'm not flawless, I don't deserve connection. And that belief feeds anxiety directly. Not because you're broken, but because you're exhausted from monitoring yourself. Here's the quiet truth most people never hear. The reason certain conversations won't let go of you isn't because they define you. It's because they don't. Your brain keeps revisiting them because they don't fit the full picture of who you are. It's trying to reconcile one imperfect moment with everything else it knows about you. And maybe the solution isn't to replay it better. Because every replay quietly teaches your brain which version of you it's allowed to accept. Maybe it's time to stop pressing rewind. Not because you don't care, but because you care enough to let yourself be human. Conversations are moments, not verdicts, not prophecies. Just snapshots of a human being doing their best with the awareness they had at the time. No second takes, no director's cut. Just real life. So maybe it's time to let those moments stay where they belong. Imperfect, awkward, and unmistakably human. If this resonated with you, there are more videos here that explore this same inner territory, same depth, different angle. I'll see you there.